Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Apologies. I'm a little bit late. I was supposed to go at 4, said 5. It's now past 5. It's been a crazy day, basically, everyone. But how are we all doing? Another day, another stream. And a big news today, which is absolutely amazing. I'm just going to share a few things in the chat as I do every single time. But yeah, how's everybody doing? How's your day been? What is it today? What's the day today? Thursday? I'm so lost. Completely lost this week at what day of the week it is, what we're doing, what we've been up to. But yeah, we're here for another stream. A long one today, potentially three and a half hours. And I want to try and do quite a bit today, if possible. But first and foremost, let's get loading up. That's the most important thing. Yes, it's tied back. It's very tight, but it's tied back. I haven't cut it off, don't worry. Do you really think I'd be that crazy, Kim? Yes, rocking the man bun today. Very manly, very manly. But yeah, basically I had a little bit of a headache earlier. I think it's just where I wear a hat all the time, like I live and die in hats. I think it was just a bit tight and it gave me a bit of a headache. Took it off, stuck my hair up. Happy days. House is warm as well, obviously. It's a bit cold outside, so we've got it nice and toasty in the house. But Kim, how are you? Christian, how are you? Leanne, Lexi, good to have you all with me. Hoping to tune in as long as I can before Thanksgiving dinner. Yes, I did. To be honest with you, I completely forgot about Thanksgiving today because we don't celebrate it in the UK. But for anyone that is obviously celebrating Thanksgiving today, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy all of the beautiful food and the celebrations with whoever you're doing it with. I know it must be a bit of a weird Thanksgiving because not everybody can be together. Maka, how you doing? Doug, how are you doing? It's my lockdown locks, Christian. I grew my hair out just before all this lockdown stuff and then couldn't get it cut, but now I don't think I ever will, kind of become part of me. Kate was using the computer again earlier and everything feels a bit weird. Hope you can all hear me okay. I don't want the microphone on top of me, of course, anyway. But yes. Oh dear, what a day. Been very, very busy day. Well, I hope we can cheer you up a bit then, Doug, if that's the case, buddy. I know it's tough at the minute, mate. I know it's a bit tough at the minute, buddy. I've struggled a few days here and there. It ain't easy. I woke up to a wonderful Turkey Day gift from Frontier this morning. Yes, we did. I think that's going to be the first thing we talk about today. I want to go through all of that. William Hollis, appreciate the follow, buddy, and welcome to our little community that we're building here. Just loading up, everyone. Just so you know, we always have a little chat, don't we, while we get this thing loaded. Now, I have been working between the last stream and this one. Wanted to try and get a bit of a kickstart on the stuff I was sharing with you at the end of the last stream. I'm still using that as inspiration. I think we're going to have to go in a slightly different direction though. We're actually a little tight for space, but I think we can make it work. And I hope you enjoy what I've done. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do first today is potentially talk about the news that Frontier dropped on us, which I think is just fantastic. Frontier doing bits once again, giving us, the best editions for one of the best games. And, we have to appreciate what Frontier are doing. Lockdown, pandemic, still managing to work through, giving us DLCs, giving us additional And yeah, I'm just going to talk you through it, and then maybe give you like my 2 cents as well, if I think this is going to be something bigger than just what they've announced today. I do think it is, and I think, yeah, we'll go through all this together, basically, gang. Right, we are loaded up. I'm gonna rotate around though, because I don't want you to see what I've been doing. I want it to be a bit of a surprise. It doesn't feel as smooth today. Maybe it's just taking a little bit of time. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this zoo. But yeah, let's jump in, shall we? My friends, as always, does the little load up screen. Now, what I do need to do is get the item up for us to have a little look at, gang. So yeah, let's run through this first, shall we? Because this is interesting, in my opinion. I think this is really interesting news, and amazing on Frontier's part once again to continue giving us new stuff, basically, for the game. Sorry, I was just checking a few settings. I felt like the levels were a bit off, but they're not. It's all good and hood. No, they are. There's something not working quite right with my computer today. So usually I would iron out all these things before I go live, but like I say, it's all been a bit of a rush. Should be fine anyway. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Jareth, how are you, buddy? We did get some new game news. You've joined me just as I'm about to go through it, but how are you, mate? Long time since I've seen your name pop up. Obviously, we do things a bit differently now, don't we, mate? So don't see you in the comment section because we don't put as many videos out, I guess, as we used to. But good to see you here, mate. So yeah, basically this is what we got given today by Frontier. Amazing news. So essentially, over the next few weeks, we will be revealing what we've been working on since our Planet Zoo Australia pack. We can't wait for you all to see it. Today, we wanted to take the opportunity to tell you about a new feature the team have been working on, which will be added into the base game on Planet Zoo for free, and we think you'll be excited for Animal Talks. I am so happy about this. Okay, I don't think this is going to be what people really wanted, which was animal tours. You know, like someone walking guests around. It isn't that, but I do think that this is an amazing addition. This is an amazing addition because you're going to be able to, from what I've seen, you're going to be able to set schedules and set these animals. And it isn't just going to be the big habitats, but you're also going to be able to do the exhibit boxes as well, which I love because I think like we could have like there's enough empty space in one of the reptile houses to put one of these in there, and it looked like it was a big talk. We could build like a little desk, and it's almost like they were getting the lizards and the snakes out and stuff. I just think this is an amazing thing. Animal talks are a staple activity in zoos, education, share insight in animals, house their zoos, share conservation efforts. Like in real life, we wanted these animal talks to benefit both guests and your zoo, and they basically go into loads more detail. I've got to say, I do quite like the little stations. Some people might not have wanted these little station things, but at least they've made them like semi-attractive because obviously the new staff members are going to stand next to them. Can we have a quick tour before we start? I've started again with Planet Zoo, but I feel like I don't know what I'm doing putting stuff. Of course we can, Kim. Funny enough, actually, I had a new follower on Tuesday's stream, and they asked if they could see a tour of the zoo. So yeah, whether we do it at the beginning or the end, I'm not sure. But I will do a tour today because someone did say they'd like to have a good look at stuff. It's okay, Jareth. It's really not a problem, mate. It's just nice to see your name pop up. Basically, I realised the numbers are going to be a bit up and down today. Obviously, with Thanksgiving, you're all going to be tucking into your lovely turkeys and Thanksgiving grub. I'm very jealous. I'm very, very jealous. We have to wait for mine until obviously Christmas Day. That's the big thing. Obviously, we celebrate here in the UK. So yeah, essentially, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you're going to be able to have these animal talk points. They're going to work in a similar way to education boards, so you're going to have to make sure that they're linked to the right animals. It says with animal talks comes new information panel. Each talk can be set up for one habitat or exhibit, one species of animal. And through this panel, you'll be able to do all these things, and able to say where animal talks, pick animal species, pick a month to schedule the talk. This is what I like, so we could have rotation, which I think is quite cool. Assign an educator to an animal talk point. Assign the animal talk to a work zones. That's really cool. You can select music, which will play while the talk's on. See if your placement of the animal talk point will allow your educator to throw food in. That's pretty cool. I didn't see that. So if the placement is good enough, they will be able to throw food to it. That's amazing. There's also a new management tab, obviously, that comes with it, because obviously you're going to have to assign the animals and to certain boards and whatnot. There are a few things to keep in mind. Educators with higher training will obviously do a better job. And so on and so on. But if I can find it, there was a comment that our good friend Eben left. Obviously, people then started giving it, oh, please, could we have benches and whatnot? Because, it's going to clog up. You're going to have to be really careful how you design these. I think that the best thing to do for these is to have obviously your main path, and then have a little bit of path come off and place it in there so you don't clog up your paths. This is going to be a really interesting thing to mess around with, in my opinion. Here he is, our good friend Eben. He said, fantastic. I was looking forward to some educators, and now I think I can direct a few of my guests to specific spots using this mechanic. It goes beyond what I was expecting, and he obviously asked, is this just for habitats or exhibits? And they replied saying no, exhibits too. They function similar to education items. So that's amazing. So we're going to get we're going to get it across the board. All the animals are going to be able to essentially, Kim, it's basically what it is. It's just another education element. But the bit I obviously wanted to bring up with you guys is how it's worded at the beginning. It says, over the next few weeks, we will be revealing what we've been working on since our Planet Zoo Australia pack. We can't wait for you all to see it. Today we wanted to take the opportunity to tell you of a new feature. So that, to me, the way they've worded that suggests they are going to be giving us much more than just this. And I wouldn't be surprised if over the next week, 2 weeks, me and Lexi were saying in the last stream, we think if they're going to release DLC or a major update, it will be at the beginning of December. They won't leave it to the end because of Christmas and whatnot. They'll do it at the beginning, and it'd have to be sort of ready now. And obviously, this suggests they've been working on something for a while, and I think we're going to get a bit more than just education. Now, I hope we're going to get a bit of a redesign on some of the animals and the way they use water, especially if potentially we are heading towards an aquatic pack. There's a big rumour that giant otters are in the next DLC, so this is pretty cool. This is really, really cool. So I assume this is part of the large free patch. So this here is part of the base game, Kim. So this will be available as a free update, this bit. But I think they might potentially do what they did with the Australia pack, where they give us that major update and they gave us a DLC on top. So it's double bubble, well worth your weight in gold, basically. Really makes that leak feel purposeful, seeing all this now, even if what was in the leak doesn't end up being in the... Yeah, exactly. And, obviously you've used the term leak in the same way I have been, Jareth. I don't really think it was so much a leak, but just kind of their way of saying, we are listening, we are working behind the scenes, and this is what's happening, but they kind of did it in a bit of a funny way. But yeah, I'm excited for this, guys. Really, really excited for this. Yes, Joran, I do. Obviously, I just pulled it up from the Discord, buddy. I appreciate you and Kim obviously linking me that stuff on the Discord, because I don't have the time really to go and fish through the forums and whatnot and stay as up to date as I would like. So it is good to have a community that's kind of there and backs me and whatnot. So yeah, today, gang, obviously I wanted to look at that at the beginning. We are going to continue to work away on lots of stuff today. And yeah, basically, I'm going to show you what I've been working on. We're going to continue to work on that, and then at some point, I'm going to do a zoo tour, basically, because a lot of people have been asking for it, and I kind of want to walk you through, what we've been working on. Isolation's giving you too much time, yeah. See, all isolation's done to me, Kim, is create more work. Yes. Yeah, and I'm more than happy for you to be my Secret Service as well. It helps me. It makes me look good when I come live and I start reporting news. It's like, really, you guys already know. You've been reporting it to me. But it's just nice, isn't it? If people are watching this, they haven't seen it, and they want to get caught up. There you go. I'm catching you up, basically. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, gang, I am now gonna show you what I've been working on between streams. Now, last stream, for anyone that missed it, I basically did a load of foliage work, lots and lots and lots, just trying to get all this in order. I might work on this a bit today as well to try and get it finished. Eben, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you here, my friend. It's good to see you here. I just mentioned you, funny enough. Because obviously I see you comment on the forums with the new update and whatnot. I am Doug. It is just one of them days, mate. One of them days. So yeah, I was working on the foliage and whatnot last episode. Last stream, I should say. We didn't really do too much more than that. Kind of got some flooring put in and finished off some fencing and stuff. And just did a few bits and bobs here and there. I just wanted a real chill out stream last time before getting into anything too heavy. But since then, I've got into some pretty heavy duty stuff, as you can see here, gang. So yeah, I've started work on something that I wish I hadn't started, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. It's if I can pull this off, this is gonna look great. But I just know this is gonna be one of those. This is going to be one of those habitats that gives me sleepless nights. But yeah, I'm going to take you through what I've done. We're going to continue. Now, what I'd like to do in today's stream is get the hard shelter finished. Get some planting and whatnot done over here. I would even like to, so I'm going to run you through all my ideas, basically, on how this is going to work. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, like I was saying to you the other day, even when my name gets mentioned and stuff, it's so weird when we all mention each other, and you'll be watching a video or a stream or whatever, and you go, "Hey, they're talking about me," and you instantly your ears prick up, don't they? Put two trees leaning up against the entrance. I'm not going to put it here. I quite like the entrance way here, but we might do that somewhere else, Christian. I did listen to you last time. You are, Doug. Be careful, mate, that doesn't get copyright strike. You're not going to have it on screen, are you? Are you just going to be the ones on screen and you're going to have it on in the background? Because obviously just be careful with the copyright stuff, mate. So yeah, let me run you through, everybody, what I've been up to, basically, between last stream and this one. So yeah, like I say, last time out, we were just doing loads of planting. We were trying to tidy this up a little bit. I was trying to colour code a bit better. I got a little sign in, which I think works quite nicely, and then yeah, if we carry on working our way round, you will see not really touch the planting up this end, but if we continue down here, I did start to get all of this sort of planned out to some extent. Continue coming down. I've put in a water feature. Now, I don't know if you're going to like this. But I just felt like when I was planting this area up, and it felt a bit like dead space, basically. It just felt like it needed something. And so instead, I've used one of these fantastic totem poles, put it in the middle. I will just press play so you can see it you know, working basically. And so we've just got a little water feature here. Basically, I think it works. I think it looks quite nice. Imagine sitting here and you listen to the sound of the water and whatnot. You'll look out this way and you'll see the entranceway to sort of like the bears and the wolves area, and it's it'll look pretty cool, you know, once it's finished. Unfortunately, as you all know, I'm one of these people who famously starts a lot of things and rarely finishes them until a month later. I'm a bit of a pain for that. We'll be sharing it when the balls are picked. I'm going to write down the names of the teams, then shout out the name. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, mate. That's the best way. Just to protect your channel, mate. You don't want any copyright strikes on your channel, especially as you're working so hard. Congratulations, by the way, on 700 subs. I did see that on the Discord, and yeah, pretty good. Having a smashing year, aren't you, mate, with the channel? So yeah, I put in this little water feature. So the plan is, I shared it last episode. I've kind of got some inspiration. I've got some pictures and stuff that I'm going to basically be using. We're going to have an area in underground, which is all going to be sort of boxed in and treated like a room, and then we're going to have this area at the top, which is a higher area to look out. The bears are going to be this side, the wolves are going to be this side. I kind of put this in because this is sort of like a line for the habitat edge, but I might go a little deeper in, and what I might run along here is a staff path down here, and we'll just like disguise it all because you won't really be able to see too much over there anyway. So we might be able to just go a tiny bit deeper, because when I was looking at it, you've got to try to imagine these things when it's decorated, when there's water, when you've got all the bits in. It might not be that big, but you know, if it's a similar size to the wild dogs, then I'll be happy. Random Goat, how you doing, mate? So yeah, that's kind of like the planning either side. Now, what I am thinking of doing over here as well, because you will remember I was on about putting a facility building here, and we were going to have another road coming across, another bridge essentially here that we've similar to what we've got here. We're going to come across, have a small sort of facility here. Now, what I'm actually thinking of doing is joining that facility up, and along this piece here is having some null exhibits. So basically some null bird exhibits is basically what I'm thinking of going with along this stretch here, just to kind of fill it in a little bit more. But yeah, this is going to be where our wolves and our bears go, basically. As you can see, working very hard on the hard shelter, and the reason for that is I'm using this point here to kind of act as a central point. So it'll be at an angle because I don't want it all to be too straight, you know. So we're going to come like this way into this path. All these bits of path probably look all really weird, but they're all just there to help, basically. And then yeah, basically. So this front one is our wolf. This is going to be our wolf hard shelter. It's not finished. I'm still working on it. Like I say, this is the big thing I want to carry on working on today. So we come in. You're going to be, you know, this room's going to be first. Essentially, I want to try and set this room up so that we've got almost like a room here with TVs and cameras and whatnot. And those cameras would be cameras to each of the hard shelters, because wolves are a dangerous animal, as we all know, and going through a door like this into here, if a wolf had managed to get out, it's blind. And from what I was reading, they would have the ability to have like a room or whatnot that would give them the ability to see in there. And then also over this side, maybe just some storage and whatnot. But this is essentially sort of like airlocking. It's airlocking is essentially what this is. So then you come in here, gang, and this is the wolf indoor hard shelter. As you can see, we've gone with 3 rather large housing rooms. Not finished. It is all still a work in progress, as you can see. But yeah, we've gone with 3 housing, compartments basically. Do need to bring that piece over a little bit. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So yeah, that's the wolf one. Some nice natural light. Just trying to go with a bit of a different design again, so it's not rinse and repeat, because nobody wants to see that. You go down here, and this is the entrance into the wolf habitat, which is all going to be changed. It's very flat at the minute. We're going to mess around with the terrain and whatnot and make it really, really cool. I'd like to go from high to low, basically. Then you come this way, and this is where the kitchen sort of area is. It is a bit janky, guys. I probably should have set this wall back a bit, but because of the way this is, I couldn't do it. So it is a little janky here. I might take this one piece back and then try to fill the gaps in if I can. But it is what it is. And then we go, so yeah, this is just like a little holding area. I guess like you could have more storage and whatnot here. Then we go through this one. Obviously there's no roof on this, but this is for the bears. So again, entry into the bears habitat, and then you've got your bear indoor areas. Now bears and wolves are kept very differently, which is why the indoor dens are different. You wouldn't have doorways from den to den with the bears. They would be separated. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research on grizzlies. Rarely do zoos keep a male and a female grizzly together in habitats. What they will do is they will bring them together for breeding season and then separate them. Now, I've not really designed this with that in mind. But so I don't really know what to do. I think what I might do, if you guys are cool with it, is I might make a conscious decision of only keeping female bears, and then maybe making a male bear habitat somewhere else at a later date, and then we could potentially then act out the breeding program, if that makes sense, because that's the easiest way around it. Basically, male grizzlies are very aggressive, and rarely are they kept together. So yeah, it's quite a difficult thing to try to cheat those mechanics, going for the realism, because you can put a male and a female in and they would just get on, because that's how Planet Zoo's created. But it's just not the case in real life. So yeah, I'm not sure. We can hash these ideas out when we want. But yeah, from all of them that I looked at, there was always one slightly bigger than the other. And so yeah, that's the bears side, basically. And yeah, we're just going to continue working our way on this, trying to get all the roofs done, get all the bits and bobs inside, and then I want to finish that planting off, and then maybe I might work on the bird habitats over here, the knoll exhibits over here, and then yeah, I think all of this stuff I might do off camera, just because I think it's going to be a real pain in the backside with all the terrain stuff. Really appreciate how you put holding pens and such in your habitats. Really adds realism and interest in your zoos. Well, the big thing, Jareth, is realism is what we're going for, and I do think, like you say, it just adds something, you know. I could quite easily have just put a concrete box in the corner. They would use it like a cave system, wouldn't they? And they'd be happy with it, because that's how the game works. But you know me, I'm always trying to push the limits of this game. One of the bears should be called Goldilocks. I will write it down. I will write that down. Yeah, it makes sense to me. It's something real zoos have to do sometimes too. They can't always have male-female habitats being adjoining. Exactly, and that's something I was reading as well, Lexi, because what I was going to try to do was just split the habitat and have the male one side and the female the other, but the animals... I'm talking in a real life situation, the animals would actually be uncomfortable with that. The female can get stressed. The male would still show aggression through the fence, and so on and so on and so on. And it's just not an ideal situation. So they actually would keep the male in a separate part. So yeah, it's actually really interesting. Not all bears are like this, but grizzlies in particular are quite a difficult species to keep, sort of in this situation. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, gang. That is what I've been doing. But yeah, if you want to see the inspiration for this, I can put it up on screen now for those that didn't see the last stream really quickly if you would like to see it. If not, I'm happy to do it elsewhere. That's a lovely play on words, that is, Eben. It did not go over my head, buddy. But yeah, I'm happy to show you the inspiration if you'd like. For the project, I'm not going to be copying it, just inspired by it. So I can either show you that now, or you can just jump over on YouTube after the stream's finished and go to the last sort of 10 minutes of the video. But yeah, if there's enough interest from you all, I'm happy to put it up on screen now. But yeah, I'll just crack on and I'll just see what you all say in the chat, and then if enough of you level of people want it, then I'll put it up. I'm assuming you're watching, Kate, because it's keeping little and quiet. So my wife ends up watching the streams because Emily's very much a daddy's girl at the moment. She's obsessed, and so we put the streams on, and obviously she gets to listen to my voice, and obviously it's calm for her. It's calming for her. So yes, dinner time. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, she's doing all right, Doug. She's doing really well. Yeah, she had her first she had her first bit of like proper food, I guess you could say. Obviously, she's been on milk, but yeah, she had her first bit of proper food yesterday and absolutely loved it. I don't think it's going to be too long before she's having that all the time. Well, that'll be an interesting game to talk about in the podcast next week, Doug. For us, won't it? Well, there you go. I must have quite a calming effect on Emily as well, then, Kim. Maybe that's what it is. We've realised that she just prefers men. Like my dad and Katie's dad and whatnot. She just laps it up. What audio books do you mean, Doug? Maybe I should start doing that. Maybe that's what I should start doing for a living. Maybe I've missed a trick here. So yeah, the plan is to get this finished. I really want to get the hard shell finished today. If we do that, then we've had a very good stream. By the way, it's nice that I've got Kim and Doug in the chat because I wanted to ask you both a question, actually. You all love the Cockney lingo. That was a funny stream, that was, when I was still going through all the Cockney and everyone was like, what on earth? Doesn't even make sense. Yeah, Kim and Doug, just honest opinion, what did you think of the podcast the other day? I know, Doug, you didn't watch live, you listened after, but what did you think? Basically, it's just nice to get your feedback because obviously it was a slightly different podcast. We still talk football, but we got into a lot of stuff, didn't we? Like, obviously, I listened to it back. I always like to listen to it back. But yeah, what did you think? Because obviously we're trying something different with the pod, and we'd just like to know that it's working, really, more than anything. Appreciate it, Doug. I do appreciate it, mate. Yeah, we don't want to, I don't know, we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves as just a football podcast. We want it to be a bit more than that. Especially as we're all such good friends, so it can be a bit more personable, if that makes sense. That's good. That's good. So we're hoping that the whole podcast becomes a bit like that, Kim, eventually, and we just sprinkle, obviously, the football chat in. Like, I think basically it will become a lot more like natural over time. Yeah, just ask, because obviously we don't want it to feel sort of forced at any time at the moment, more than anything. But I'm loving making the podcast. I really, really am. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice change of pace, you know, because obviously the majority of the streams and stuff is very much, you know, like us having a bit of a laugh and whatnot, playing games and things. But it's nice to just sit back and, you know, have a bit of a chat. I knew Daz was talking bonkers about United West Brom. No way that was going to be. I think a lot of that, Kim, is that all three of us are not scared to take the mick out of each other live on camera. Some people would worry. I think some people would worry about doing that, but we don't. We don't care. Oh, you eat. Yeah, anything's possible, Doug. Anything's. I think that's this season. That's going to be the mantra of this season. Anything's possible for any team. I do genuinely believe that. Especially with the way all the other teams are like, all the teams are performing at the moment. Right, let's just put that there so I know for the spacing. I'm probably not going to do the glass like exactly the same. I do believe this part of the building is slightly shorter than this part, so I won't be doing it exactly the same. We don't want like total symmetry because it's just boring on the eye, even if it does play havoc with my OCD. I can hear the dog howling, which means one of two things. Katie's singing Crocodile Rock, or her mum's on the phone. I think I went with a draw. Like I think I went for the first time this season. I think I went with a 0-0 draw. I think, Kim. I don't know why. If either team's going to win, probably I would say Sheffield United, but both teams just don't look capable of scoring goals, do they, at the moment? So it is a hard one. It's a hard one to predict. I am thinking of putting like a little roof over here as well. Like I might carry the roof on and then put like little supports. It might be an interesting look. But then I've just put that in there, so maybe not actually. Maybe I could put like a flat roof. We go up a little. I don't know. The horror, I know. I can't help myself. I have to go with my draws. Always, Kim. Always. It's going to be a staple of the season. People need to get used to it. Yeah, to be fair, Doug, I don't know what Darren was thinking with that prediction, but it is Darren we're talking about here. He's not okay. Yeah, we've so Jareth, just for a bit of context, buddy, my brother my brother Luke and I have got a podcast basically. We've only just started it really like a few months ago. It's essentially three grown men just having a chat. But a lot of the chat is football based. We are slowly changing that up. Like starting to become a bit more like personable to the three of us. But yeah, a lot of it is a lot of football chat, mate. But it's funny. It is funny because we do basically. There's a segment where we try to predict the results for the weekend's games in the Premier League, and obviously lots of different opinions on the scores and stuff. And we've got a little competition going between the three of us, and whoever loses at the end of the season has got to face a forfeit, basically. And at the moment, my brother is in pole position. To be losing out. Yeah, Doug has to get all of his football chat out in here, doesn't he, Kim? When he misses a pod, bless him. Oh dear. I'm gonna do what I usually do, guys, and I'm gonna apologise in case today's stream is a bit of a slow burn, but it might be because of the nature of what we're doing. But I've got to get this finished, because if I can't get this finished on stream today, with the time I've got left this week, I might not be able to get a Sunday episode out. But if I only leave myself with the job of getting the habitats done, then we'll be in a very good place to attempt that Sunday episode this week, because I really do want to attempt to get the Sunday episode out, because I'm always conscious that it's lovely that so many of you come through and join me in the streams, but there is a part of the community that doesn't watch the streams, and I have to remember those guys. I do have to remember those guys as well. I feel awful missing the Planet Zoo stream and then jumping into the football stream like, hey, then it don't matter, Kim. I don't mind. The Planet Zoo stream was later anyway, wasn't it? On Tuesday. But we won't be doing that again, because it really played havoc for Darren, bless him, with the kids. He just he couldn't get Noah to settle, so yeah, we've three of us have agreed that we won't be doing that anymore. I think the podcast is just going to be one of those things that's going to have to go out later. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that could have done with being a bit further this way, couldn't it? That's going to mess up the whole... Surely not. Oh, I'm going to have to do this manually. So weird. I didn't have to do this the other side. About there, I would say. Yeah. About there. Yeah, I can imagine you are busy, Doug. Obviously, with Christmas around the corner, mate. Yeah, well, obviously, football, as we call it, Jareth, is kind of like the premium sport that we watch over here in the UK. So, yeah, I said this to him, Kim. I said this to him. I just think Darren, uh, he panics so much about this stuff. Unfortunately, bless him, and I think he worries that people might think that, oh, it's just so rude. All I can hear is the kids and whatnot. But people genuinely just people ain't going to care that much about it. You know, that's honestly what I think. You know, if people are into the podcast, then they're not going to care about Noah making the odd bit of noise. Do you know what I mean? But that's my brother. I think my brother just he wants everything to, he doesn't make a lot of stuff anymore like he used to be. I've mentioned it a few times. He used to stream regularly, and upload the content and whatnot to YouTube. And I think because he don't do it anymore, and this is kind of like his little avenue back in, he just wants it to be perfect. And I can't blame him. I can't blame him for that. He thing is with Darren, he's very similar to me. He's got that in him. I might put that trim there. That might look quite nice. Oh, is that next week you're picking up the new puppy, Doug? Ah, to have another puppy. That would be nice. Rolo would not appreciate a brother or a sister though. He just wouldn't. We had his brother though, didn't we? That's well documented. I had to rehome him. I hope he's doing all right. Oh, Ralphie McRalph. Hey, you've already done it. Oh, I guess you couldn't wait for me today, Kate, obviously with me being on here. Okay. I'm saying nothing. I am hush. Is that a request, Kim? We need a pets page, do we? To be fair, the Discord is getting quite busy now, so I think something like that might be quite a nice addition. I've really noticed since streaming that the Discord's really taken off, which is nice. Because really, the Discord was just set up so that the community could stay in touch with each other more than anything. That's alright, Leanne. You do what you want to do. I don't mind people lurking in the background. Not everyone always wants to have a chit chat and whatnot. As long as having us on in the background, having a chat and cracking on, helping a little bit. That's all I care about. We're very close. What I am going to say, guys, is we are very close to this wall. I think when we do the bear habitat, I might be cheeky and just remove the wall just so I can finish it. I might be. I'm not saying I definitely will, but it's just so I can finish it because I think we might be a bit tight. You know what's crazy when you're building these habitats? You look at it and you think, oh, there's just so much room in there. But I know full well that once I've built this path network in the middle, there isn't going to be a lot of space. No, I didn't catch it. I see that Paulsy's actually he did like stop motion or whatever. The editing, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's such a time-consuming editing style. I would have to be doing this full time to even attempt it. But I did see the little clip on Twitter. I haven't had much time to watch people's content this week, but yeah. But I do quite like that zoo that he's doing because obviously it doesn't. There's like no restrictions. He's not going for like realism or anything, which is quite nice. Which is something I might do at a later date. I've seen Zekin's obviously doing it, isn't he, with his new project? And I said to him like, oh, it's quite nice. Like it's quite refreshing watching this series because you're not really taking like realism into consideration. It's just nice to just be creative. You can almost treat it a bit more like Planet Coaster. But yeah, not really had a chance to watch anyone recently. I did catch a bit of the live stream that he was building that though. I think if you're on about the same build, I did catch a bit of the live stream. It's a bit of a catch-22 for me at the moment, building a zoo like that. Because a bit of me wants to be more renowned in the community for realism, if that makes sense. Like, I want to try and find my place in the community if I can at some point, like where I kind of sit with other creators and whatnot. Yeah, this is definitely short of this side. Well, I get you guys to pick my zoo names. I picked Highland based on the information I gave myself when building the project, Kim. So essentially, Highland Park is a huge country park near where I live that we take the dog for a walk and stuff. And I've always looked at that and thought, right, there's so much room here. You could put a lovely zoo or something here. And that's how I did it with Highland. But obviously, you guys named this one. What sort of what I would say, Kim? What sort of style are you going with? Is it going to be UK based, or are you going to be heavily influenced by like Africa or stuff like that? And then you can sort of then come up with something. Well, I really, really appreciate that, Eben. I really, really do. And what's been nice as well, since obviously you invited me on Bro Nation, I've been reading what some of the people write on there and the bits they share and whatnot. And there is some pretty incredible stuff on there. But yeah, I would honestly say, Eben, I spend as much time reading and looking at photographs as I do building. Like, it's become a bit of an obsession. Like, I'll be sat downstairs with my wife and she'll be like, "What are you doing on your phone?" And it would just literally be me, like, just reading through guides and stuff for zoos and whatnot, just to make sure I get it right. Because, God forbid I got it wrong. The sleepless nights. Go very clean and modern. However, I promise nothing after a few builds. Yeah, go for it, Eben. I'd really appreciate it, actually, mate. I like reading it. Like, I think one of the big things anyway is I'm a bit of a fan of architecture anyway. Like I've always said that, like if you had a do-over, I would probably study architecture. I would have studied it at uni or something, because I didn't go to university. I went straight out to work. I'm from quite I came from quite humble beginnings, really, a poor working class family. So we didn't really have the ability to kind of really go to uni. We needed to get out and work. It's kind of how we were brought up. So yeah, I think I would probably do architecture. Potentially I would have gone and done architecture at college or uni or whatever. My granddad always said I had an eye for that sort of stuff anyway. Like, I used to draw a lot when I was a kid and had a bit of an eye for, like, graphic drawings and things. How do I find your stream on YouTube? This stream, Kate, isn't on YouTube. It's only the podcast that I do it on both. Just to clear that up. But it's only the replays are on YouTube. Oh, I've done it again. I did this last time. Can you not cast it, Kate? It is a mouthful, Kim, but the you know, they tend to be, don't they? I quite like it. I do quite like that name. Right, let me see if I can back to Hey Bears. Oh God, not that stuff again. My phone is awful though. But yeah, look, I can cast to the TV on mine. Weird. I'll try and sort out the iPad, Kate, for next time. I'll list it all up and send you the links. Yeah, just send them on. Just send them as a message on the Discord, Eben. I'd really appreciate it, mate. There's lots of good stuff online. No, Lexi, if you did want to have a little read about like architecture and that, like there's actually an amazing amount of source material that you can get hold of online that will really help. Like, if you want to improve like that much with your buildings and whatnot. Like a big mistake I used to make early on, and I'm talking more in my Planet Coaster days. I never made any content for Planet Coaster, by the way, before anyone starts asking questions like where they can find the content. I didn't make Planet Coaster content, but when I used to play the game, one of the big mistakes I made was everything was just so square, and in reality, things aren't. So that was one of the first big changes that you kind of have to learn, is that, you know, things just are not built that way. And if you want to try and, you know, get some character in your buildings and whatnot, you've got to add stuff. Like, you know, even something as small as what I'm doing now, just add in a bit of glass. Textures, you know, your roof and your ceiling are not going to be the same. And even in a game like this, a building game, you still need to do it. Because it's the only way you're going to get your layers. It's the only way the inside of the building will feel different to the outside as well. It is hard. And I don't want to come off like I'm a complete pro. I'm not. I'm still learning. But it's just little bits that I've learned along the way. I think the biggest thing with this game, if I could give anybody some advice, the biggest thing with this game is making that favourites list, finding out the pieces that you like the most, and then finding different ways to use them. And just try and use pieces how they're not supposed to be used. That's a big thing. There's loads of like pieces I use that shouldn't be used where I use them. Well, that's good. That's good to hear, Random Goat, because that is the sole purpose of all the buildings that I build. I want them to be realistic and functional. My only thing I wish we could get an easier fix with is that sodding clipping though in this game, because you have to sort it out, because you don't want all that flickering and whatnot. I just wish there was an easier fix than what we have to do at the moment. Don't mind the ceilings doing it so much, because you don't see them as much. But okay, we are getting somewhere, guys. I feel so underpaid with this game with other people's business. I'll work on something for hours, doing every bit of detail. It's only other PC players that understand your struggle. Yeah, it is true. The same can be said for Planet Coaster as well, though, Kim. I don't know if you played Planet Coaster, but I felt exactly the same way. It's okay, Doug. Don't worry about it, mate. Yeah, you guys can't put any links. It's just to protect me against basically spam artists and whatnot on here. What you should do, Kim, is share your stuff on the Discord. We've got the Planet Zoo chat bits and that set up for people to do it. Just share what you're building. I know other people have done it in the past. I think like Drawrun's done it in the past and whatnot. And I've also got the other bit, probably not so much for yourself, Kim, but I've also got the other bit where people can share their Steam Workshop bits and bobs that they build. I know Zekin's put a lot of his stuff in there. Yeah, it's smaller, so we only want we probably only want the one. Get rid of all that, and then that doesn't matter, Kim. The reason why I say share it on there is you can work through the ideas. You can work through the ideas together. But that's why I set the Discord up as well. It's not just for me, to stay in touch with you guys. I want the community to use it as a tool for other people in the community to be able to help each other out. Whether that be Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Football Manager, FIFA, whatever it is. I want people to be able to help each other, basically. Sorry, Doug. I did see the question about the Christmas stuff. I don't tend to watch Christmas movies till December, but rarely will I put one on with the intention of watching it Usually it just happens to be on the telly. Katie and myself always watch Love Actually at Christmas. It's one of those films. It's got good. We got good memories that go along with the film, so we always tend to watch it. Yeah, it's not a bad movie either, is it? So it's always a nice one to sit down and watch. Is Santa Claus the Tim Allen one? Oh yeah, Muppet Christmas Carol is a must. That's your mum's favourite, isn't it, Kate? Yeah, I know the one you're on about. Yeah, I know the one you're on about now. So the bit in Love Actually that does Kate is obviously the bit with Alan Rickman, and obviously she's found out that he's bought the other woman the piece of jewellery, and when she's crying, and Kate always sits there while she's watching, she says, "How could you, Alan? How could you?" And she's like devastated. Oh dear. Yes, I know you get so angry, Kate. I'm usually there in the room while you're getting angry. Even though you've watched it a million times. Codimad, I'm really sorry, buddy. What did you ask about the game? Due to the really high cost, I wasn't able to purchase it. Can you just quickly describe the main aspect of this game and tell your opinion about it? Yeah, cool. Sorry, buddy. I'm really, really sorry. So basically, the long and short of it is, mate, that you build a zoo. I don't know if you play Planet Coaster. Essentially, it's Planet Coaster, but this time you build a zoo. I don't know if you played like old games like Zoo Tycoon or anything like that, but it's very, very similar. Yeah, there's not really much more to say. There's like a challenge mode, there's like a franchise mode, which is slightly different. Like the career mode, you've got all these sorts of stuff, or you can do Sandbox, where you can just build your dream zoo and there's no money, anything like that. But yeah, essentially, if you've watched a bit of the stream, you'll see that it is essentially, building away. Did you ever see it on the old videos? Because the DVD version has a scene cut out. Are we talking about Love Actually? But from what I can see from the last 10 minutes of your gameplay, it seems like it's more construction simulator rather than zoo. It's a bit of both, I would say, Coramad, to be fair. Yes, at the moment I'm constructing like a building that will house the animals, but it depends how you want to play the game. To be fair, Coramad. If you could just, if you really wanted to, you could just put a box with a top on it, and that's good enough for a hard shelter. And then you could put the perimeter of your animals' things in, put the path there so that people can see them, and then put the animals in. You could play it like that if you wanted to, or you could play it like I play it and try to build as realistic a zoo as possible. It really just depends on what you like as a player and what you want to do. But yeah, it is. I'd say it's a mix. I'd say it's a mix of builder and and zoo sort of management sort of thing. How many hours have you already committed to the game? I think we checked this the other day, and I think I've done well in excess of 150 odd hours. Actually, a lot more than that. I'm actually going to check for you. Let's take that off the screen. I'm actually going to check for you. 1,615 hours. That's how many hours I've put in the game. Some may say I'm obsessed. But yeah, it depends what you want to do with it. Obviously, Coromad, I'm a content sort of creator, so I would probably play it more than the average bear. So, but yeah, I've definitely got my money's worth. And thank you for the follow as well. I really, really appreciate it. Oh right, okay. We've probably got it somewhere on DVD, but because we've got Disney Plus and everything now, and we've got Netflix and Prime and all these things, me and Katie have been getting rid of our DVDs. They're becoming obsolete, aren't they? No one really has DVDs anymore. I haven't put much on the workshop, Coromad, to be honest with you. So yeah, it'd be quite difficult, but I do have a YouTube channel. You could always go and check out like some of that content, basically, bud. It's probably the easiest way to do it actually, because we've got a channel that's kind of like the majority of the content on there is Planet Zoo. So yeah, you could head over there. What I'll do, maybe if you wanted after the stream, that's the channel. It should be. Give the chat a minute, and hopefully it will link. There you go. I've linked it in the chat for you, my YouTube channel. Maybe after the stream's finished, you could head over there and check some of the builds or whatnot. I'm going to do a tour in the zoo. I might do it in a little while, just to have a little bit of a break from building. So then you could, if you want to stick around, I'll show you some of the stuff we've done in this project. Obviously, I'm assuming you're very new, Coromad, to what I'm doing here. But this project that I'm working on at the moment is actually sort of controlled by the community. We have what we call our Sunday session episode, where we come together as I put a video out on the Sunday, and then the community gets to watch what we've been doing. They get to vote on potential new zones that we unlock and leave their ideas for the next thing to build. And then I jump in and I build it. I do 2 live streams a week for Planet Zoo, and then the 1 episode that goes out on that Sunday. That's sort of how it works. And it's been 6 months in the making, and it's been an absolute pleasure. I've loved every minute of it. You'll lose yourself in the game. It's so addictive. The more you learn how to use the keys with the game, the more you want. Yeah, you really will. Anyway, to play it with your friends, share zoos, for example, is very much like a one sort of player game. But if you wanted to try and build something with your pals, you can do it. You just need to send each other your save file. You kind of have to share it. Lots of people in the Planet Zoo community have done projects together, so there's ways around it, but it's not really built to play that way, if that makes sense. but there are ways around it. But yeah, it's very much a one-player experience. I've been asked many a time to do collaborations. Do you know what? I've gone wrong here with this. I know what I've done. I've used the wrong piece. I'm like messing around with it, and I'm like, why is that not high? And it's because I had to lower that piece there. Yeah. Yep. I know where I went wrong. But yeah, I've been asked to do a few collaborations, and I at the time I just haven't had the time to do it. But I think if someone wanted to collab with me now, I would strongly consider it. I feel like I've really grown as a creator since I was last asked. So yeah. Yeah, I would totally agree with that, Kim. Obviously the community doesn't build anything for this zoo, but yeah, I would agree with that. It has turned into a bit more than it doesn't feel like I'm playing alone, ever. You know, obviously I know I stream, and so you don't feel alone. But even those Sunday episodes, like, it's weird. It's so weird, right? But like, when I put a Sunday episode out, the hype for my even just for me is unreal, because I can't wait to see the comments and see what you guys make of the latest part. So yeah, it's just mad. Honestly, this series has just become so much more than a silly little YouTube series. It's kind of made the channel. It's kind of molded the channel. It opened my eyes to what I was doing wrong with my old channel as well, and yeah, it's just helped. Weirdly, this series has helped me massively as a content creator. Katie, if she's still in the chat, will be able to totally agree in that I was a nightmare to be around when I was just making videos and I wasn't streaming, because I'm one of those people who, you know, it balls to the wall. I don't do anything half baked, and so I will put every ounce of energy I've got into stuff, and I was burning myself out trying to manage multiple channels and make content, and yeah, it's just too much. But now that I stream and I've got a nice streaming schedule, and we know the days that videos go out, and it's just so much more organised, and just a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to make videos now. Yeah, I agree with that, Kim. It's just nice. It's a nice community. It's one of the nicest communities I've ever been involved in. God, I've made YouTube videos for a while, you know. I never made it big on YouTube, but I made YouTube videos for a while. Started out making sort of FIFA and Football Manager content, and well documented. I had a channel that was semi-successful, like, it had a good amount of subscribers, I would say. But the community was never very welcoming, and it was only really out for itself. And then, yeah, come over and started something different. Community was different. People are lovely. I've had the joy of, you know, meeting some great creators as well, and talk to them regularly. And I've never had any of that. All the years I did the other stuff, never did I have any of that. So yeah, it's nice. It's been a really nice change of pace. And as Katie said, she agrees. And yeah, she just much prefers it. Because I am about a bit more. I'm just available a bit more. Right, so if you're wondering what these little bits are for, that's where things like air conditioning, vents and all that stuff's going to come out. Yeah, totally agree, Random Goat. Totally agree. I really feel like it should be a bigger community, though. Do you know what I mean? There's enough good players in the community. Yeah, don't get me wrong, Doug. There was some really good stuff that come out of the old channel, but as you know, and it is well documented, the tail end of that channel was very toxic. The community got very toxic, and unfortunately, it's just because it was a sports-driven community, and unfortunately, there are some people that just can't accept that not all of our opinions are the same. And yeah, it was just not a joy. It was just not good. And then it got to a point where I was just making content for content's sake. I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying it at all. But then yeah, like I say, I started making this content and just much prefer it. But I think a lot of it is not only do I prefer making the content, but I prefer the community. I prefer the banter that I have with you lot, and the chats we have, and the streams that we have, and it's just nicer. It's just so much nicer. It's like it's actually like it's a joy to like get ready to go on stream. Like not once do I ever sit there before a stream and dread it. That's the big thing that you have to take from it. Yeah, it's going to be cool, Lexi. Was you here at the beginning when I sort of ran through the stuff? I'm not sure if you were, but yeah, I did run through a bit at the beginning. But I do think that little bit of information they've given us today is definitely part of a much bigger deal than that they're making out. I think we're going to get a potentially like a big sort of update to the base game, and then a potential DLC that goes alongside with it. Very similar to the way they did the Australia DLC. I think that's basically what they're going to do. But again, would you all agree that again, Frontier have listened? Because obviously, it on the forums, you know, it's been said many a time, you know, we didn't get the tours that we were kind of teased with at the beginning. You know, there's certain things that we've not got. You know, like people were banging on about vending machines for God knows how long. We got vending machines, so it does. To me, it proves they're listening to their community, and that's a big bit. Like if they want this game to have legs, and they don't want it to die off, then they have to listen to the community. You know, like what Planet Coaster, what did they get? Like 3 years out of that community? Amazing. And it's because they listened and continue to listen and continue to evolve and improve the game. And they've got to do the same with this one if they want the community to stick around. You know, it's well documented that many of the community kind of got to a point where they felt a bit burnt out or needed a break and weren't enjoying the game. And then, you know, slowly, they're going to potentially add something, and it helps. But what I have noticed with the Planet Zoo community is a DLC will come out, big channels will bleed that DLC dry, and then they get bored of the game again because they're so quick to jump on and crack on. And I understand why they got to do it, especially if they're full-time YouTubers. You do it because it's content, and it's good for your channel, but you burn yourself through it too quick, and then you're left with nothing left to make, you know. It's difficult. It is very, very difficult to get that balance right. I'm not going to do that. When he was making Highland, but he joined him in the community a couple of weeks before. Emily was born. And now I'm here every stream. And we love having you here, Kim. If the way you got to look at it though, Random Goat, if they have got a slightly bigger DLC coming, which, don't get me wrong, I'd have no problem with it, people have to accept that it will be more expensive than the price they're charging. So what's the average price of a DLC been? $7.99, I think, for their DLCs so far. If they give us a bigger DLC, you know, like we all have to understand this, is that you've got to weigh up. You have to weigh up the options, everyone. If they give us a bigger DLC, so they gave us like more animals, for instance, and maybe, I don't know, the usual. We usually get about 250 pieces, new pieces in a DLC. Say they gave us, I don't know, 400 new pieces, and rather than the usual 4 or 5 animals, they gave us 8 or 9. People would have to understand that it would be twice the price. I think some people think they're going to get a new DLC for nothing, like money-wise. It's going to be cheap, and that's just not how business is done. LMA Manager. I never played LMA Manager, Doug. And I've played a fair few of the like manager-esque games, football-wise, but yeah, never played that one, mate. Yeah, that is true. It is true. Well, you know, if you watch that video back, they say they've got plans for 200 animals. Base game we had 70, didn't we? So then you just add up what we've got so far. So yeah, always listening. We get the big chunks of the year are planned in advance. They can't always get to things immediately. Doesn't mean they haven't. Yeah. Totally agree, Lexi. The thing is, none of us are game developers as well, so we don't really know how long it takes to make a DLC. You know, I'm sure it's a very difficult, stressful thing to undertake to get it right. Yeah, it has. And the thing is, you have to understand, like, the Australia DLC, for instance, what was that, $7.99? You got so much in that DLC. And, like, we got pieces in that DLC that are my favourite pieces, and I used them a lot. I've used them on this build. See these doors? Majority of the door is made out of this piece, the beam, that came in the Australia pack. Like, and there's a few pieces that came in that pack that I use, like it's going out of fashion, basically. So yeah, we I don't know. We live in a world now. The culture has kind of has changed, and we now live in a world where people just want new stuff instantly all the time. No one's willing to wait for anything anymore. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that. Yeah, agreed. But is that 200 animals or 200 including? Ah, yeah, that is a fair point actually. Because all the models are separated, aren't they? That's a good point actually. Football Manager, Doug. If you're interested, buddy, it kicks off tomorrow. Actually, my first Football Manager stream is tomorrow. So if you did want to come and get involved, me old mucker, that's when it will be. I'm actually buzzing. I've still not though. I've still not had a look at the game. I'm going to do it tonight, just so I can just I don't necessarily need to play through the game too much. I just need to know how the new mechanics of the game and that work, because there's been some big changes to it this year. But yeah, I'll be cracking on with that journey tomorrow, mate. Oh, what is it? Yeah, it is necessary. What league are Dagon representing that? I think they're in like the Vanarama Conference. So like they're the league below League 2. So it's going to be quite the journey. I always pick a team that need like a major rebuild, and it's going to take a while. Like I never pick a big team, because I think that as someone who's played a lot of Football Manager, I think if I picked a big team, like I would do relatively well quickly, especially with like good finances and that. So I always like to, pick a challenge basically. Dark Lancer, thank you for the follow, really appreciate it, and welcome to the chat and the community, my friend. I really need to sort my follow alerts out. That is something I have to do before next week. It's good that I do get the announcement in the chat, but I never get it pop up on screen like it's supposed to. So yeah, it's something I've definitely got to do. Yeah, I appreciate that, Doug. Really appreciate it. Palermo Problem was a lot of fun, to make. Palermo are a team that I'm quite a fan of anyway in Italy, so yeah, they were good fun to make, mate. Right, let's check all this. Looks good. I think I just need to do the ceiling in here, and then we're as good as done. We just got all the small details that need doing, but I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do all of this building today, because I don't want to have to come back to it while I'm trying to build the habitats for Sunday, because I just want to reiterate it again. I really want to get a Sunday episode out this week, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel at the weekend. I'll say if, just in case I don't, but if there is a Sunday episode, it will go out at the usual time at 4 o'clock, and I'm probably going to make this one a premiere, so if anyone wants to join at the time of release for the premiere and join me for a bit of a chat and a laugh while we look at the project, that would be pretty cool. Right, so I need to finish that roof trim. Need to finish the roof trim. I need to do these bits. Coolio. I don't know if they've renamed it yet, Doug, but they did say that they're toying with the idea of renaming the stadium. But it would be pretty cool. Arguably, they had some of their most successful time in football with when he played for them, so it does make sense. (2020) It's just one of those years, isn't it? A mad one. So what I'm going to try and do, guys, is get as much done as I can until 7, and then I think it was Kim. I don't know if you're still here, Kim. You might be just enjoying it in the background at the minute, but I think Kim mentioned she'd like to see us do a zoo tour, so I might do that. Around about 7 for those that are interested. Just take you through the zoo so you can see how things are going. Do you know what? I knew that wasn't straight, but I think I am just going to go with those 2 lines. These are those details that none of you are going to take any notice of, but I know they've been done. Just make sure you don't have to make a dash across the living room and tread on it though, Kim. So I still have all my Lego from when I was a kid. It's all up in the loft in boxes, because I always thought to myself, like, if I have kids, then it'd be the perfect like thing to give them, because they'll have all that Lego to play with. And then I don't know when it was. It might have been, I don't know if it was last Christmas or the one before. No, it must have been a couple of Christmases ago, because again, Katie and my mum bought me a few bits of like Lego, and now it's become like a tradition that I get bought a little bit at Christmas to do, like, just as a bit of a chill, because I love it. Like, I find it really therapeutic, like building stuff with Lego. I thought we established this the other night. I do not dash. All right. Yeah. I know we were probably making you feel ill just talking about so much activity, weren't we, Kim? Doug loves a dad joke. Right, how we Anybody else use pieces and think, well, that's up the piece count for no reason? Yes, yours truly. Adding bits that don't need to be added. Okay, so... you know what? How do we feel about that? That is a thing of beauty right there. You don't drive, either of you. Interesting. I don't drive. It's a topic of conversation that we get into a lot in this household, and driving's just something I never got round to. Started doing it, and then obviously we fell into this situation that we're in now. But my whole thing is that in the new year, I'm gonna definitely get back on it, so that it's just, I don't know, I think it's one of those skills that is good to have in it. But yeah, walking's a fantastic source of exercise, though. Like mad. My brother-in-law's partner lost loads of weight, like literally just cutting sugar down a little and walking loads. And honestly, she shed so much weight, and has like really kept it up as well. Like she'll go for, a couple of hours walk every day. Yeah, it's mad. We thought that she'd just done something really drastic. She's like, no, just start walking everywhere. I'm going to do a bit of thieving now, gang. I need to learn, but my son's at 17, so yeah, totally get that. If you've got by this long, Kim, so what, innit? That's how I always look at it. Not that Katie's gonna enjoy that attitude from me, if she's still watching. Okay, this is where we learn that the ceiling isn't low enough. No, it is. That's why I create these bits the way I do. Alright, let's just line all that up. Lovely job. Coolio. Yes, I knew you would be, especially when driving's being spoken about. Yes, agreed, Kim. Totally agree. My whole thing was that was going to learn. 17, start learning to drive. Turned 18, got a job in the city, and then didn't need a car because if I was going to work, it was on the train. And then when you'd come home from work, you'd be going out, and you might be going for a beer or whatever. When you're young, you're always out and about, aren't you? And so then if you're drinking, you can't drive, and so then time just went on and on and on and on and on. And now I find myself, though, at 35 and saying to myself, you know what, it would probably be helpful to everybody, more than just you, to be able to drive and have a car. But yeah, it's just one of those things that unfortunately I put off. But yeah, no, I do need to do it now, though. Do definitely need to do it now. I can take them places now. Don't need to drive to take them places. Like, I need to drive if I wanted to take them to go and see, like, the grandparents or whatever, because they don't live around the corner. But
I know where the Fountain of Youth is, Doug. That's all that is, mate. I have direct access to it. But no, I appreciate it. I get it a lot. Not a lot of people think I look my age. Yeah, see, you actually think about it as well in the long run, Kim. The saving you're making on petrol and all that stuff, you know, because it's not cheap. It is not cheap to run a car. And that was one of the things as well when I was younger. I didn't want to spend money on. Not so much now, like I say, things have changed now. I've got a very different attitude towards it now. But when I was younger, I didn't see the point in like spending money on a car and then insuring it for it to just sit out the front of my mum's house all week, not get used. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. I love that. It made your week getting ID'd. I can't remember the last time I got ID'd, to be fair. But I think the tattoos and the beard help. If it weren't for them, I reckon I'd still be getting ID'd. For a lot of stuff. Right. I know they're not even, but I've done it intentionally because I'm really trying to get over my OCD. Do you know what? I want to do this slightly differently, if I can. Don't know if it's going to let me. Don't know if I'm going to have enough space. Yeah, I am. Good. Let's push that back a bit more. I can imagine Kim, obviously having your son so young. I used to go out loads, and now I can't be bothered. Honestly, if I had the choice to go out or sit in and watch a film and veg, definitely the latter. I couldn't be bothered with it all now. Oh yeah, I've got to put the what's name in here, and that's all right. That's decent because it will be showing because I've got to put the. I'll put the roof bit in there. Let's do that now, actually, before I forget about it. What we at? 7:03. I'm just gonna do this, gang, and then I will do that zoo tour, Kim, if that's if you still want me to do it, so you can have a little look at stuff. Maybe let me know in the chat, Kim, if there's anything in particular you would like to look at, and I'll make a point of doing those bits first. Right. And all three of my boys at 24, so yeah, I'll make the most of my 40s. Yeah, exactly, that's how you got to look at it anyway, ain't you? Just do it on later on in life. My whole thing was that I didn't want children until later on. I don't know why. I just had it set in my head. I wanted kids when I was a bit older. But now I think to myself, God, I wish I was a bit younger when I had the little one, because I just had more energy when I was younger. But yeah, let's take a little break from building. It's amazing, like, how little you actually get done when you're playing away at this game. It's so difficult to just get through a lot in a short space of time. Yeah, I didn't want kids, but then you got to meet the right person, didn't you? I think. Yeah, good look at the entrance and the plaza would be a great help. I'm assuming you mean the newer entrance then, Kim. So yeah, this is what we came up with. I don't know what you if you wanted to look at the car park or whatever, but car parks are relatively easy. Well, I hope I met the right person. I bloody married you, Kate. But but yeah, Kim, maybe just like, I don't know, I'll sort of give you a bit of insight in how I did it, to maybe help you out a little bit. So I built this stuff first. Like, I built this and this first. Then I pulled the pathways off of the little ticket offices that we call ticket offices anyway. And then what I did was I placed like some bits where I wanted the plants to be, just so there was no clipping, and then did my best to try to drag all the pathways around it, essentially. You will remember this little bit of path wasn't actually initially here. I added this at a later date. And I actually think this really brought this area together in a weird way. This one small piece of path here really just pulled everything together, because I got to put these fences in, and it was a good way to get the flamingos, the little look at the flamingos. So yeah, that's essentially how I did it. I just built these things first, but yeah, I'll give you a good look at the buildings as well. I think, if memory serves me correct, it's in a few different pieces. So yeah, the roof is separate to the building. I tend to do that a lot, because then you can just maneuver the roof about how you want it. Um, so from a lot of reading I've done, Kim, many zoos will actually have an animal like a flamingo near the beginning, or at least near the entrance, because of the noise they make. Flamingos are actually quite a noisy animal, and so it gets the excitement going for people. It's actually a clever ploy. It's a bit like a weenie in a theme park. I don't know if anybody's aware of what a weenie is in a theme park, but essentially, theme parks like the weenie in Disney Magic Kingdom, for instance, is the castle. Yeah, they will have that one central focal point. And zoos essentially have their own way of doing it by using certain animals in certain places because it pulls people, it pulls traffic to those areas. So yes, they're not really the starting animal. If you think about it, the lemurs are, but they are the first animal the guests will hear, and they were the first animal I believe we put in over here in this area. But the guests can actually get a view of the flamingos before they even enter the zoo, which was a clever ploy by us, and it is something that zoos do as well. But it's not the best view. Like, it's just a sneak peek. I used the fence, this style of fence, on purpose, heavily vegetated it up to make it difficult for the guests to really get a proper look, because then it forces them in round here to then come and look at the animals properly. But yeah, a lot of zoos do that. A lot of zoos will do that. Just from what I've read. So they're both entrances and exits. But yeah, obviously it was the original entrance, wasn't it? This one, because this was the zoo. If you think about the narrative that we put together, this reptile bit was the zoo, and it's just grown from there, isn't it? But yeah, this was the other entrance that we built so much smaller in scale, because it was a smaller facility at the time. But yeah, really different as well. So the way I did this one, Kim, was again I placed the ticket up booth first, but I made a decision to include the ticket office with the restaurant, and there is actually a staff room in here. So if I zoom over the top, I can sort of explain where stuff is. So the restaurants are here, and you've got your seating for your restaurant inside and outside. There's a staff room here. There's a walkway through this way, which obviously the staff don't use. It's just for our purpose only. And then the ticket office is there, so it all became one big building. And then, yeah, the way I did it is I just used fences to stop the guests from going in, and then yeah, put the ticket office under a little welcome sign, and then yeah, it's literally straight in, and away you go, kind of thing. But the facility was so much smaller when we built this. When I look at it now, I think, like, obviously from a design perspective, it's not the greatest, because we do have bunching here at the restaurant, but we never used to get, I don't know what we got, 3,082 guests. We never used to get 3,000 people, did we? When the facility was first opened, we were lucky if there was 500 people here. So it's just funny how it evolves. But yeah, that's the other little entrance. Look at the rubbish. Holy cow. Look at all the rubbish. Why is there so much rubbish along here? I've put bins in, for crying out loud. Why is there so much rubbish? I definitely think we're going to have to get some more cleaners. Look at it all. Jesus. I'm going to ask any of you guys that potentially play the game, have you got a way to get the cleaners to work more efficiently? Other than just training them up to like a 4 or 5 star level, Is there any way you found a way to get them to clean stuff more efficiently? We probably do need more because it's a big facility now, but I just don't feel like they get through it. I always want to put a gift shop and cafe at the entrance. Is that a UK thing that we seem to have at exit? Yeah, it is very much something I've noticed a lot with our zoos that we do. That we definitely do that a lot. I know for a fact that London Zoo, for instance, have got that bit that you walk through, you get your ticket, and in you go. And then as you go through the entrance at London Zoo, on your right, there's a small gift shop. And then when you exit, it depends what exit you take at London Zoo, because I think there's two, but one of the exits is through the gift shop. The same with Colchester. There's an exit through the gift shop. And if you want, when you first enter Colchester, if you go to your left, you can actually go through a door to go into the gift shop. I think it's a slightly different section to it, but I do think it's quite a UK thing that we tend to have the gift shop on the way out or on the way in. We've kind of done it both. We've kind of done it both here, but you can actually exit through the gift shop and out of the zoo. Which is, I did this because it is a very UK thing. I use work zones, basically getting them to hang around one area as much as possible. Oh, fair enough. Not a problem, Doug. Thank you for stopping by, buddy. Really appreciate you spending a bit of time with us, mate. And enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully, I'll see you for tomorrow's stream, mate, when we play a bit of Football Manager. Yeah, I've used work zones in the past, Jareth, but it's just, I don't know, like, it's weird because you have to select buildings and whatnot. So, are you selecting a perimeter? It's something I would like added, is the ability for work zones to be built a different way for different staff members. It's funny because all of the things that I would like now in the future, like updates and DLCs, are not really new things. It's really just, I don't know. It's more, I'd like things to be added to help the gameplay a bit better, basically, is where I'm at. Yeah, no worries, Kim. Whenever we're live, if you ever want to look at anything, you only have to give me a shout and we'll have a look. Yeah, that would be a better way of doing it, I think, Jareth, to be honest with you. It is a bit wonky, like you say. But yeah. It's quite large. When I look off into the distance, that is quite a large piece of the facility, but it'll be nicely hidden. It will be nicely hidden. Guys, I know I say it a lot, but man, look at this. Look at this zoo. It's mental. I have to zoom out now so far that the markings on the car parks disappear. I can't wait till we really get into Africa. It's going to be so fun. So fun. Doing all that. But yeah. It is some project, this one. Yeah, exactly. You can't. That's what I mean, Jarrett. You can't control them, can you? You can't control really where they go. But I have noticed there's a few areas in the zoo that are just lacking that cleaning, and I would imagine this is lacking because really this is outside the facility, although it's included in the zoo because the spawners are outside. I do have a logo for the. I do have a logo for the zoo. I used to have it in the bottom corner, but since I moved all my streaming software over, I haven't got it on here anymore. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. That's the that's the Jamii conservation one. I need to try to recreate it in the game. Yeah, I need to try to recreate it in the game. I'm hoping that when we get to like maybe a central plaza area, I might make it out of flowers. A sign or logo actually. Oh no, not yet, Kim. Basically, like I was saying, I need to try to get this in the zoo. We've got this at the front. Yeah, we got this at the front. But yeah, I do want to get that proper logo in, and I think it was Nightclive a while back said that there's going to be certain animals that are going to get ignored, like from certain zones. Like for instance, the llamas, for instance, didn't get added in South America because we all decided as a community that they didn't really fit, and we'd have been trying to get them in there for the sake of it, kind of thing. So we're going to potentially put the llamas somewhere else, and he came up with the idea that maybe the zoo should head towards like a restaurant in right bang center, with like a big like expo center, maybe something along those lines, like a big. But basically, the restaurant would have like an indoor sort of playground, like and stuff like that, like a really big facility, and then we could have a few of the animals that we didn't get in their certain zones. We could put them on the outskirts of this plaza, basically. And he was saying that maybe we could have one animal from each part of the world, like around the outskirts of it. And I did really like this idea. So I was thinking, actually, like as part of that plaza, we could do like a big green and try to get the logo near that, and make it out of flowers, basically. Might be a good idea to just do that. I have practiced making stuff out of flowers on the game. It's quite difficult, but I have done it in the past. I don't know if I've still got it. Yeah, that's actually flowers. It's a bit cartoony, and it's not perfect, but yeah, I did make that. It's better the more you zoom out. But yeah, maybe try and make the logo in that fashion. But yeah, I'll open it up to the chat. Is there anything in the zoo you'd like to take a look at? I'm going to save it again. If it seems like I'm saving it a lot on stream at the moment, it is just because the game has got a little squiffy, I've noticed. Me and Lexi were talking about a bug that we found where you zoom in and sometimes the zoom gets stuck and it won't sort itself out. I'm still hoping for a petting zoo type DLC. Yeah. The thing is, you can do makeshift petting zoos, but that's what they are. I think it was Estan Wolf made one in one of his series. He used the sheep. I think he used, at the time we didn't have the llamas. I think he used the warthogs as like boar. Can't remember what else. He used another animal as well. But yeah, he made like a really cool petting zoo. But you had to use your imagination. But yeah, while we're taking this little break, is there anything anyone else wants to look at? Let me know. Also, I'm just gonna throw it out there, gang. Obviously, when I'm building, I do worry about space getting wasted or getting lost, and I am a little worried about this area here. So one thing I do want to do with the African area is we are going to go off in this direction, but I do want to split. I want to split off here, around here. Obviously, I have to keep this in mind, like the road and whatnot. But I do wanna split off here and then just bring the loop back and get an animal in this space in here, because it will make the most of this backstage. I could even move this road back a little bit and go along here, but I do want to try and get an animal in here if I can, because I'm always looking at the space, and you know, the stuff that's very close to the zoo, I don't want it to be wasted. Like, to be fair, we're not going to use any of these squares and rectangles on this edge here. We're not going to use them because the zoo's just not gone this direction. The zoo is clearly going to go up and around and back on itself. That's kind of how it's going to go. So a lot of these on the edge are not going to get used. And I am genuinely thinking of doing like a big main road and fake houses and stuff like that. So you're talking about this little bit here, aren't you, Jareth? So I was thinking of adding some green space here. You know, just trees, because this happens a lot. Obviously they will add stuff like this, but believe it or not, those that are not aware, dense foliage like that is very good at stopping sound, and they will use it as noise breaks and whatnot. So I am thinking of adding some foliage in here. I put these fences here because I might run the fences along and then just densely, you know, fill an area in here. But this is sort of parking backstage. We've got this road and this is going to run this way. This is why I was worried about this this was going to be wasted otherwise. That's why I wanted to put the animal in. But yeah, the majority of this in here is going to be backstage. This will become a lot clearer when I get the... Oh, what have I done? Oh, there we go. This here will become a lot clearer when I get the perimeter fence in for the wolf. When I've got the wolves perimeter fence in, then I'll be able to mess around with all this. The thing is, it looks a lot now, but once you start adding stuff, it's really not. Like, to be fair, when I dug out all this area, I looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, that's more than enough room for bears and wolves. But I'm looking at it now and I'm like, geez, that is going to be so tight. It's going to be so close to really be able to fit it in how I want to fit it in. That's why I've already said, like, if you guys are cool with it, I'm going to remove this wall and potentially a little bit of this, just so I can finish the grizzlies off. Otherwise, it will just be a case of putting the walls in and then offering this up as a zone. But I know for well you guys will vote for it because you'll want to see the grizzlies finished. Yeah, I think I would probably go with a similar thing to this. The thing with the plants, Jareth, is a lot of this stuff, this green space I've done, they're all plants that would be okay in a UK climate. Basically, it's stuff that I know would grow here naturally and be fine. So yeah, it would be this sort of stuff, quite dense, like woodland, I guess you could call it. I actually think like filling this spot in here with plants would be amazing anyway, because imagine that effect you would get walking around here. The plants are not on top of you on this fence, but they'll be close enough. Just got to be careful as to not cast too much of a shadow over this. But again, you add that planting in and that fence disappears, and it's amazing what an effect planting has on the game. yeah, it's just be an amazing, it'd just be an amazing feel, wouldn't it? An amazing look to this part of the project. It's why I threw in all these trees along this fence as well, because I just wanted to, like, basically my big thing for that was making the building disappear. And from this angle, I think I've done a pretty good job at making the building disappear, because the building's big. You go here and you look at the building, completely different view. Like, it is very apparent what it is, but from here, as you turn the corner, you don't know what it is really, because the planting's so strategic. Planting's the most. I would go as far as saying planting in this game is the most important thing to get right. Because if your planting's off, stuff won't look nice. It's honestly so important. Like, for instance, a really good example of it is there's no plants over here yet, so it just looks like a really ugly concrete building. But trust me, once I start adding a bit of rock on the front, because that's what I want to do with this building, and then we start adding a few trees and we start messing around with the terrain levels, it'll come to life. Yeah, I'm sure they would. I just don't want to. I don't want to cast too much shade, because we've already got quite a bit here. So I don't want to cast too much. We could probably get away with it, like in this back section, but I don't want it to be on the water or whatnot. I did have to move the education, the donation bin. I really don't like it there, but there's nowhere it can really go along this path without it being in the way. But yeah, like I did have a comment really that maybe I spend too much time on planting, but I think it's important. Plastic swans, how are you, by the way? Your name colour is exactly the same as Jareth's, and I thought it was the same person. But how are you? Welcome. But yeah, it is getting there. It's just, as we all know, the people that play the game, everything's a slow process. It's a slow process. But I'm enjoying it. I have, so I did add, I said I was going to do it, but I did add this one in here. I need to make like a little sign at the front for educational purposes. So I did add this one. This really the only place it could go, because obviously how high it is, and we needed that high ceiling. So I've added that there, and then I just moved that little pot thing that we made over there. And then, yeah, this is still a work in progress. I still need that bit to go there. I've tried. I am gonna be honest. I've tried to make a bear skeleton to go there, and I just can't get it right. Some of it looks okay, but I just can't get the scale right, and it's hard. It is hard. So I still need that there, and I still need like a bigger prehistoric skull to go here. Like, I think like maybe a saber-tooth tiger or something would be that sort of skull or whatever. I think it would just be amazing if that sat on there. And then yeah, just need a couple of exhibit pieces on those two bits, and then yeah, it's yeah. It's not so much this. It's not so much this too big, Jareth. I can't get it. I just can't get it right. I can't get it to look how I want. I think I'm just going to reach out in the forums and see if there's anyone out there that is good at making this stuff, and see if they would maybe make me a one-off piece for the series. I'll just give them a shout out, basically. Made a living wall. What do you mean by that? I kind of feel like I need to look now. YouTube. Oh, right, yeah, cool. Oh, cool, random goat. I will maybe approach that person then and see if they could help. See, I've done the whole plants on the wall outside, but I've not done it indoors yet. Wow, apologies for that. I'll have a look after the stream then. Yeah, I'll see. But yeah, I've not done that indoors. He made troughs out of the metal pieces. Oh, okay. Yeah, plain walls are a problem. I think we got away with it in here a bit, to be honest with you. I think because it's more of an exhibit hall, the cleaner walls worked. You know, like once this is all filled in, I think it'll be fine. But I do know what you mean. There are sometimes it is quite difficult to like fill it in. Um, if I look up this area, like the gift shop, I just kind of put a design on the wall and whatnot, and just added a pop of color, and then you can add all the items to like fill it in. Um, and then I would say again, like with this, we get away with the plain walls because there's that two tone, and then I made the mural. So there's ways around it, but it is hard to keep coming up with ideas for the walls. But yeah, like I like to look at things different from different angles and see what is working. And like I look at this room and I just think, oh yeah, we don't need anything on the wall because just so much going on. You know, the pops of the colour from the plants and yeah, that's true. That is true, Jareth. Like at the end of the day, I kind of look at these expo centres like this is like a celebration of North America slash sort of educational thing. They would go with that clean design because they would treat it like an art expo, white walls, and then the art's on there because it makes the art pop. So there's ways around it, but then there's buildings like, for instance, I think the point that Kim's made about the living wall, I think that would work amazing in like, I think it would work really well in this building. I'm going to go in the back way. I think something like that might work really well in here because the walls are they're not great. They're dead. But then this is part of the old facility, and in the old facility, everything was done really basic and plain because we didn't have the money we've got now. But yeah, maybe something like here, or even in here, just to add a little something. You know, I know we got our little fake gift shop that we placed in here. And I was really strategic at the beginning, like when I built this, about where I wanted the plants and that, because it was all meant to be fake. I need to update these to make them look a bit more real. I realised that after I'd done it, that I do need to go back and just give them a little tweak. I still really feel like this holds up though. This building, I really do. And do you know what's sad though? What makes me really sad about this building? No one's here. No one's in here. No one's enjoying it like they were back in the day. Look, not a person to be seen. You go around here, there's loads of people because they're all looking at the Garials that are really popular, but and they're indoors. Yeah, I like it as well, Jareth. I like the fact that the old part of the zoo does look a bit like janky and old and whatnot. Yeah, I know, plastic swans. It's a shame though. I wish that people did care a bit more about some of the animals. You know, if it weren't for Toby, if it weren't for this lad, the zoo wouldn't even be a thing. But even the habitats are like a bit more low key in the old bit, and I quite like it. There's always the temptation to like update them and change them and make them newer, but I quite like it. And then the wild garden still holds up massively, and like what's mental is like unbelievably, is this him? Mr. Peabody is still alive. I'm at a point. I'm actually at a point, guys, where I think it's a glitch. Although he's got 100% longevity, so that makes me think that maybe he's going to live more. He's going to obviously outlive what the average lifespan is. Yeah, start taking bets, Plastic Swan. 30 years old he is. 30 years old. Pretty crazy. The average life of a peacock is 23 years. Pretty mental, isn't it? He's still going, still alive and kicking. And I think like the others are getting on a little. One of the others is 24. But the longevity is high again, so potentially she could live a long time. But I've made the decision that when Mr. Peabody goes, I'm going to release all of the females to the wild because I've got 2 males in here that are Peabody's boys. So we've got Ronif and we've got Sai. And they're his boys, and they're both in here at the minute. So I'm going to leave one in here and move the other guy over to the other, and then get some female, because all the females are their sisters. So we'd obviously have to move the females on, and we get a couple more females and start a couple of peacock harems. So yeah, we'll keep the boys, but we'll let the ladies go. And they've been blessed. This guy has been blessed as well with that strong longevity. I don't know if Sai has. He's not as... Yes, he has. Jesus. They've just been blessed. So yeah, the Peabody bloodline will be here for a long time. And then Lemur Island is still like one of my favourite parts of the zoo. Weirdly, I keep popping by and I keep looking at the plants and thinking, oh, I really must finish that, and then never get round to it. But the planting's so off. It really does need sorting out. Just need to add some colour, some flowers and stuff, I think. But yeah, I still love Lemur Island. Still really like this little mural that we made. All the details to make this effect on the glass. Yeah, went to town on this one. Of course there's one boxed up. There's always one boxed up. I do need to go through their numbers though. They're just everywhere. So many of them. You go over to the island. Look how many are on the island now. Mental. And then you go in here, and there's loads in here as well. They're just everywhere. I didn't realise that the lemurs are bred so quickly and so easily in the game. Because this is the first time I've done a lemur habitat. We never did one in Highland, so it was the first time we ever did one. Yeah, Still love it. We really improved this, by the way, guys. I said it in the last live stream, but we widened this path and we widened this bit, and it has really sorted the problem out. Yes, it's still busy here because that's people going in and out, but the actual traffic moves better now. What was happening was some people were taking this route, and all they wanted to do was walk straight up or up and around, and they couldn't. So what I've found is happening now is the people from the restaurant tend to come out and just go down here, or even the people that are going in come this way or go up and around, whereas the others will walk straight up this way. So it's good. It actually really sorted the problem out. Still one of my favourite builds. The restaurant, still one of my favourite builds. I want to try, if I can, to do a similar mural on this wall using the lemurs as I have done on the one in the other restaurant, if I can. But yeah, still up there. Still up there. It's always so busy as well. Probably where we make quite a bit of our money in the zoo. My favourite habitat. My favourite habitat. 1,000,000% my favourite habitat. I just had so much fun. I had so much fun building it. And I think that's more important than even how it turns out and looks. I think this turned out really well, but yeah, it's my favourite one. Just love the shape, different style of doing the building at the back, and even the little viewing areas are all really unique. But yeah, Depot's my favourite. And then obviously a close second has to be the Tropical House. The thing with the Tropical House is it was a labour of love more than anything, just because it's such a unique build, and there's lots of stuff that went into it, lots of little techniques that I hadn't done before, and I actually made them work. We actually have another animal boxed up there. Oh, hello. What's going on here? What's going on here? Why is that not unboxing? There we go. That was weird. Done it just plastic swans. Oh, like really, that should just open and be fine. But yeah, didn't wanna play game. Really, I would argue that South America brought the zoo to life because of the amount of planting. When I look at it, and then I obviously really went heavy here, behind the playground. Because really it's quite light over here. I remember early on in the series someone was like, oh, it is very cold looking, the zoo, because I didn't have a lot of foliage. But I wouldn't say that anymore. Really is cool. But yeah, if we head on back, this is as good as done. There's a few little details that need adding on the ceilings. I need to put some lights in here. Well, I really appreciate that, Jareth. Really appreciate it. What I like about the Tropical House is like you guys just came up with such a good story. I think it was Nightclive who suggested the whole abandoned factory on the land and that it couldn't be knocked down because it's a listed building, and I really like that. And then obviously I went like I went the whole hog and just added bits to the original factory, and then and it became a a loop as well. It became its own sort of adventure, like in the zoo. And I love how it looks. Like, it doesn't matter what angle you look at it, in the distance, it always looks fantastic. The only thing I didn't add on it that I wish I had, and I don't really feel like I've got the room now, I wish I'd added like a chimney on it. But yeah, I don't really feel like I've got the room to do so. Just a cool project, everyone. Just a cool project. But yeah, I need to do the lights, need a few little details. But actually, I think I'm in good shape to potentially get a Sunday episode out. It's just going to be these habitats and the pathing, and it's going to be I've made it complicated, maybe overly complicated. But that's me. That's my style, isn't it, gang? That is my style. But yeah, I'm hoping we will have a Sunday episode. I really, really am. Yeah, I appreciate that, Plastic Swan. Yeah, I am one of those people anyway. Like, I'm a bit finicky. Like, my building style is erratic. I think my building style is quite hard to watch because I don't really feel like people learn much from it. Because I will, like, for instance, when we were doing this, I did it on stream. I put the part. I put the part. This bit of path in first, and I built the restaurant, and then I did the path in, and then this building was just built in such a weird way, and so I feel like I'm one of those builders where it's quite hard to learn. It's one of the reasons why I stopped doing speed builds, because for me to do speed builds, I just have to edit the video up so much, like. And then it just ends up being a bit of a mess, a bit of a hot mess. I'm not one of those people who jumps in and just builds away and it's done. Like I'm just not the cleanest builder, so that's why I kind of got rid of them. But yeah, with this building, because it was so high up, I had to do all the paths first and then place. But I think I'm going to have to obviously do the paths first over here. But I know I'm going to have to. So I don't know how to explain this. Primal Gamer said about putting a small waterfall in if we could. Now, obviously, it's going to be an artificial waterfall, so we haven't got to worry too much about there being like water behind or a river system that runs into it. But I was thinking about potentially putting the waterfall here and then having the stream run this way and then into the bear habitat, and I wanted the water in the bear habitat to kind of run all the way along this part where this was, and then just have their habitat all in here on different levels. But talking it through and making it happen are two very different things. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to save that for Sunday, because I'm going to have to shoot off, my friends. I've been live for a while now. I said I was going to stop about 8 o'clock. I did what I said I was going to do. I kind of did a little tour of bits and bobs. If you could see some of the pumps. Yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing, Jareth, before I sign out, I will explain this. I am thinking about having the waterfall here. I think this makes sense to have it here because of the direction that I could take the water off into, basically, because this is the wolf side and I don't want too much water on the wolf side, but I think it makes sense to have the waterfall here. So I was going to have the waterfall down into like a larger pool at the bottom, but then just have it come off in like a small sort of stream. and we come towards this, and then when we get to the other side, it would open up into a bigger water pool, like pondy kind of thing. Because this bit here, I want to do in glass, but I want this to be, I want the, oh god, I don't know how I'm going to make it possible, but I want the water to be quite deep, so that it's almost like a viewing area into where the bears would swim potentially. But I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I've got ideas, but whether or not I make them actually happen is another thing, isn't it? I will probably have to sink this path deeper to get the water level up, I think, is how I'm going to have to do it. But yeah, essentially, that's what I wanted to do. Whether or not I make that happen, we will wait and see. But yeah, and then so I was going to have like the pump here, basically, that would kind of like service the waterfall. But we'll wait and see. I might end up doing the waterfall on the bear side. I really don't know yet. I'm worried about space on the wolf side, so yeah, we'll wait and see. But anyway, I'm going to sign out, guys. We got a fair bit done. We've got the hard shelter finished, as good as. I just need to add lights on the inside, but yeah, it's as good as finished. I hope you like it. I know it's like a bit of a grotty style, like this concrete style, but I wanted to go down a bit of a different route with this one, but because I'm going to add rocks and stuff to the front of the building. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. I really want you to enjoy the rest of your evening. For anyone that's interested, I will be streaming again tomorrow evening. I will be streaming from about 7 p.m. Till quite late. Till quite late tomorrow. I'm going to be starting my Football Manager stream series. Obviously, all the content you can catch up with on the YouTube channel, they get uploaded on the channel the following day at 9 a.m. So if you haven't watched the stream, then obviously you're watching this back on YouTube. That's how you catch up. I will be doing the same with my Football Manager stuff. But yeah, my friends, drop me a follow if you haven't done so already. It's really important, okay? But I'm Oskis. Enjoy whatever you do with the rest of your day, and I will see you next time, my friends. Laters.